love Tio. You made an ass out of yourself after the fight. Sorry. Yeah. You didn't win that many rounds. You didn't win. The crowd booed you.
10 rounds to 2.
Yeah, and I was just like, and I think he's really is a good kid. And,
for sure.
And I don't know if it was just heat of the moment. You handed your first loss.
Hey, you know what's funny? Because we talked before about how I've said that my dad said some fighters shouldn't be interviewed after a fight. Yeah. So in the ring after my fight, I'm standing there. I'm like, they were taking long to interview me, and I was like, I started thinking about it. I was like, let's just go. I don't know if y'all saw that, but we went all the way to the other side of the ring, and they ran me down, and Bernardo wanted to get the interview, and so I started talking to myself, don't say these silly shit that's gonna come back on you. Just be yourself and be cool and handle the situation. I think that it speaks for itself. Some fighters just should not interview after fights. You're kind of not in the right frame of mind. Tio, I'm seeing fake over. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna play on they're gonna play on him now. Yeah, and a part of the takeover for him was, I can't leave this ring without letting everybody know that the takeover is still here. Happening. But it's just, it really wasn't the time.
An interesting parallel for you. I was thinking this yesterday. Shawn Porter, Kell Brook.
No.
Let me paint the picture. So you win your belt against Devin. You have this huge performance against Paulie. Blew him out. You were the welterweight Mike Tyson.
Right.
Greatest fighter of all time.
Right.
Kell Brook kind of underestimated him, to be fair. Mm-hmm. Kell Brook, great performance. Mm-hmm.
Overseas.
Hands you your first loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see the parallel now.
Yeah. One thing.
You're talking about fighting him.
Oh, no.
And I thought it looked like he was actually going to pull it out from the fire in the 10th round when he dropped Kambosos.
Whoa.
Yeah. But one thing Kambosos exposed a little bit with Lopez, technically, technical skills wise, is I remember, I picked Lopez to beat Lomachenko because it was a good style matchup. Lomachenko can't fight going backwards. Mm-hmm. It's side to side in. Mm-hmm. And I always thought that Tio is a more natural counterpuncher. He's better when the guy's coming to him. When he has to go and get you, he has a little bit of the problem Canelo had at his age, which is, I'm the fat, I have speed, I have reflex. I'm the talented fighter. Mm-hmm. So I'm not used to having to sell out and go hunt for my food. Mm-hmm. It comes to me. I'm the talented guy. Yeah. I could stay where I'm at. Yeah. And as long as they're in range, I'm going to win. Yeah. But against these guys who know how strong you are, they're not just going to come in range with you, and he's going to have to go get them. And that's going to be harder as he moves up in weight with taller, longer fighters. Yeah. And they're not going to want to exchange with him because he's a strong kid. He's got power in both hands. So I do think Kambosos exploited that a little bit. That's something he's got to work on, cutting off the ring behind that jab.
And let's not forget, I saw explosion from both these dudes. They both were really explosive last night. Mm-hmm. But let's not forget, a Tio Lopez who's prepared and in his right mind can close the distance and be very explosive, one of the most explosive fighters out there. You know what I mean? So you're talking about moving up to 140. I think that he's just got to recalculate some things, calm himself down, and get back to doing what he loves to do, how he loves to do it. I think that this is the one. I think this one is gonna definitely gonna hurt his pride, and I think that he's definitely needs to take some time to heal from this loss. I mean, it was a loss, not an ugly loss where he got beat down and nothing like that. But at the same time, the way you talk, the way your dad speaks. The way the build up and all of those things, it's kind of like it came crashing down on him. And I just think that when he gets back and he recoups from all this, I think once he shows face in the interviews in the next month, I think he'll be good. I think he'll be good
if he's honest. I think if he's good, he says, "Hey, I watched it," and I'm like,
he's got to be honest. But from what we know, I don't expect him not to be. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. But again, you know what I mean? You talked it up. Yeah. And a lot another parallels, Adrian Bronner. There were times where AB just needed to pull back a little bit from who he's shown us and be who he is, and he wasn't able to do that. A lot of
people showed the Pacquiao Broner interview. and said this was pretty much Teofimo.
Wow.
Well, along those lines, there's one thing I worry about for Brooklyn fighters. There's a little bit of a pattern here that's a little troubling because Tyson, Zab Judah, Riddick Bowe, all undisputed champions before the age of 25 and looked like they were poised to have a really long, great run. And unfortunately, despite their great talent and becoming undisputed, it came crashing down a lot sooner than it should have. Even Hector Camacho, who wasn't from Brooklyn, but he's from New York. I mean, those are 4 guys there. It's just something you worry about with a really talented guy from New York.
Boy, bad. Boy, bad. Pay attention to this one.
Because they're these guys who are seemingly deep thinkers.
Yeah.
And become their own worst enemies.
Yeah.
And that's what Lopez did to himself in this fight. So, but he's still a generation, I'd call it generational talent, crazy talent. So I think he could win a rematch, but it's almost like the cruel irony is you're not going to get one. And it's funny coming off of not wanting to give Lomachenko his rematch. Yeah.
You gotta bridge that gap. You know what I mean? Because like for me, coming up in the game and seeing everything I've seen, I talk to y'all all the time about how certain regions, the fighters fight a certain way, and you can expect this and you can expect that from certain fighters. The gap there now in that Brooklyn, Bronxville area, and you're saying that these guys found great success at early ages and then kind of it came crashing down very quickly. Where's the gap there? You know what I mean? And why is that happening to those fighters? You know, I don't want to label T.O. and put him in the box, you know what I mean? But that's now 4 guys who are all from the same area, got some great success at an early age, and, you know, the record speaks for itself, you know? So the best part about it is it's not over for T.O. and he's got a chance to come back and, you know, right your wrongs and things like that. You know, I think that maybe that's why I think people may think that I take losses easy, and it's not so much that I take them easy. It's just that really quickly I reflect and I'm like, all right, this is what I need to do to be better. And so I think that if fighters were given more opportunities to be better, you'd see them up against another great, young, explosive fighter, and whatever happens, happens. But if they're given that next opportunity to prove their greatness again or right their wrongs or things of that nature, I think that we would see a wave of great young talent getting in the ring with other great young talent. What's up? I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Ant. Follow me on IG, Ant with 2 T's.
This is the Porter Way Podcast. This is Anthony Brenagh, and this is Carson Merk. Tell them what to do.
Hey, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all social media platforms.
Subscribe.
I'm from Louisiana. I'll talk with a B. Let's do it. Let's do it again.
All right. Just introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then you tell them what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Porter Way Podcast.
You're already here.
Hey, this is our outro. We're going to do it how we want to.
I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Anthony Brenagh.
Carson A. Merk. Like, subscribe, comment.
This is the Porter Way.